Hello and welcome to the Best You in 2022 Summit. I'm so glad you're here and I want to congratulate you on taking a step to move your Trim Healthy Mama journey forward and to keep going at the way that you already have by making the decision to do something about your health and the way that you eat. Now, I'm going to share with you 5 ways that I have found that has helped a lot of ladies to move, their scale a little bit more than it had been, or maybe even get it going again. So I'm going to share those with you tonight, and I hope that they will be ways that will help you too to be the best you in 2022 and to be able to move things forward in the way that you are intending to. So let's get into it. I'm Coach Linda here, and I want to share these things with you so that you can be more intentional with your Trim Healthy Mama journey. Now, when you started Trim Healthy Mama, same as all of us, we had to be pretty intentional. It was going to be different than the way other people were eating. But that's okay because you get to do you and others, they get to do them. So you do what you feel works best for you in your health, in your life. And if any of these ways are going to be helpful to you, then you embrace the ones that really resonate with you and don't worry about any others. Just do what works for you. So the first one that I want to share with you is one of my favorites that helps anyone at any age, at any stage. It's good for all of us. And that is to eat more vegetables. Now, they're not just these little extra things that you put on the side of your plate to fill it up. They're really very important. You're not only getting extra nutrients in these vegetables, but you're getting fiber, and that is just going to be good for your overall health. It's going to also help lighten up your meals. That way you won't be going back for more of other things that are a little more filling. Now, my help for getting more vegetables in has been really unique at times. I try to get them in at all 3 meals a day, and that's what I encourage others to do. And some have said to me, well, what about, like, for instance, breakfast, like oatmeal? How do you have vegetables with that? Well, that one's kind of a fun one because I've showed ladies how to have zucchini in their oatmeal. Now, at first, that sounds kind of odd, but if you try it, you'll be pleasantly surprised that you really don't taste it. I wouldn't be eating it if I tasted it. Zucchini doesn't have a whole lot of taste to it, so it takes on the flavor of what's with it. So when you do that, you end up tasting the apple and the cinnamon that's in there, and it's really good. And ladies that have tried it have been pleasantly surprised. Another way that you could do your oatmeal is you could even have cauliflower in it. It's kind of the same principle. It doesn't have a whole lot of flavor, but you're adding in vegetables, so that's great. And now if you're having a meal and you just kind of feel like, well, I don't know what else to put in, I don't know what other vegetable to have, just make sure that you keep some vegetables around the house at all times, like colored peppers, celery, cucumbers, baby carrots. Things like that are some of my favorites, and I try to include them wherever I can. If I don't know what else to have, just go get some of those. Just do it. Just put them in there. You'll be glad you did. And then you'll be getting in more vegetables. So remember, it's a really great way to help your weight loss journey and your overall health is include more vegetables. Try for 3 times a day. You'll be glad you did. Now, another way that has been found to be helpful for a lot of ladies is to have more e-meals. Now, when we start Trim Healthy Mama, a lot of times we're encouraged to have 5 to 7 e-meals a week. And that works out really good for most people. A lot of us come to Trim Healthy Mama and we've been eating bad carbs. And because there are so many bad carbs out there, carbs get a bad rap. But the good carbs are the ones that are good for you. And those are the ones that we want you to have with your e-meals. And after you have had, 5 to 7 a week, if that's going well for you and you want to try a few more, go ahead. Because a lot of ladies have gotten up to 10 or more e-meals per week. And they have found that that has really made a difference for them. Good healthy carbs are going to help your thyroid and your adrenals, and that's just going to help everything in your health. It's going to help you with your metabolism. So consider including some more of those and try to have a variety of the healthy carbs that you're choosing. Don't always choose the same one. Don't always choose a grain. Don't always choose a fruit. Change it up. Variety is key, and it's very important. Different carbs will burn different ways, so we do want to change things up, as well as you want to get the nutrients that are in different carbs. So variety is really going to be great. Now, another way that you can change up things and be a little more intentional is to have fuel pull meals. Now, some ladies have been a little bit skeptical about trying a fuel pull meal. They've kind of felt like, well, maybe it won't fill me up. I just don't know if I would, really do well with that. Well, give it a try, but know that there are a few things you can do to make those fuel pull meals more filling. And that is including more vegetables. Those are going to have the fiber that's going to fill you up, but it's going to keep your meal light. And that's the beauty of a fuel pull meal, is it is light. It has less fuel. So when you do have that less fuel, you're going to need to fill up with something else so that you don't feel hungry. But yet your body is going to be looking around for the fuel going, not much here. Maybe I should burn some body fat for fuel. Because in a fuel pull meal, we're pulling out the fats and the carbs and having very little of each one. And then that way you really do change things up, rev up your metabolism, and those fuel pull meals, they can really help. So see if you can work up to as many as 3 or 4 a week. Start with one. If you're not used to them, see how you do with it. And then later you could add another, and maybe you'll end up with 3 or 4 a week, one every other day, something like that. Now, if you want to have fuel pull snacks, have as many of those as you want. That's another way to help with your lightening up your meals and just lightening up your whole day by having lighter snacks. Yeah, I like those heavy snacks too. They kind of get you through. Kind of depends on how long you feel like you're going to have to go on that snack. But whenever I can, I try to keep it a fuel pull snack so that I know it is lighter. And another thing that helps the fuel pull snacks is to have some liquid with it so that you have a drink or something that is, just a fuel pull drink. Even if it's just some more water, just have a little more liquid with it than what you maybe ordinarily would with a snack. And that'll help your fuel pull snacks. So another thing that would really be a consideration for being more intentional with your weight loss is to think about your hydration. Now, I know a lot of us have heard that over and over for the years and years, drink more water, drink more of this, drink more of that, drink so much ounces for body weight. Those are all good things, and I highly recommend it because you can be doing all the right things and eating on plan and even eating some really intentional ways on plan. But if you neglect your hydration, then it just might be the one thing that's holding you back. You sure don't want to do that. Drinking more liquid is going to be good for your overall health, so you are going to want to include it. Now, if you're like me, I didn't really get too excited about drinking a lot of water. I had to give up my Diet Dr. Pepper, and I'm sure glad I did. So I needed something else to go in its place. And I found the sipper drinks were just the thing. They have flavor and they also add extra elements of nutrients to your diet. So it's kind of a win-win. And I have those. I try to have one. They're usually a quart size in the morning and a quart size in the afternoon. And then that way I know I'm getting in at least 2 quarts of liquid per day, which is a good basic minimum for most people. If you can drink more than that, then that's even better. But you need to try to be intentional to get in at least that much hydration per day. And if you can have a little bit of water to drink first thing in the morning before you have even your coffee, then that's a good way to get in hydration too. I kind of do a little thing with myself and I try to drink 16 ounces of water first thing in the morning before I have my coffee. It's kind of like coffee's my reward for being good and getting my water in. So try to put your liquids along with something else that you're already doing, and then that's a little bit easier way to make sure you get it done. And if you're like me and you're going to try to do the water before coffee, go ahead and put a thing of water beside your coffee pot. Then when you get up in the morning and you head in there to start making your coffee, you'll see that and go, oh, I got to drink that water so I can have my coffee. And then hopefully that will help you to get that in, because it'll be really good for you and you'll have no regrets. And then another way to be more intentional with your weight loss journey is to lighten up your S meals. Now, we usually come into Trim Healthy Mama and we're so excited that we can have things like cheeseburger pie and pizza casserole. Those were two of my first favorites. And then the skinny chocolate really caught my eye too. And those are all great, so on plan. But if you just eat meals like that a lot, you are really having a lot of heavy S meals. And you need to try to find some that you enjoy that are a little bit lighter. Now, one way you can do your heavy S meals that you love is be sure you put some vegetables with it. Have a salad and another vegetable like green beans, something simple with your cheeseburger pie or your pizza casserole or whichever one it is that you really love. And then you will be having the taste you love, but you'll be lightening it up by having some other things with it. Don't eat just that every time. So that way you're going to lighten up your meals. Another way to lighten up those S meals is to just kind of go easy on the dairy. Now, I know a lot of us just love our cheese, I included, but I have found that there are some things that I can leave the cheese off and I can still be just as happy with it. I used to like putting cheddar cheese on every salad I made, and then I realized I really could enjoy them without it. So unless it's the kind of salad that just really needs cheese, like a taco salad or Trim Mac salad, some of those, yeah, I'm going to put my cheese on there. And then other salads, I'm like, I'll just try it without it. And I've been pleasantly surprised that I didn't really miss it after all. So if you can do things like that, also consider less butter, less coconut oil when you're cooking. At first I was just generous with it because, hey, it was all on plan. This was wonderful. And it was, and it still is. But if that's what you do every time, then it can end up being a little too much. So lighten up those S meals. Look at some of the recipes that are naturally lighter and try to find some favorites there so that you'll have lighter S meals to go to for when you do have an S meal. Now, another kind of S meal to do is the deep S. Now that one is a little trickier. It has actually some more rules with it, if you will. It is a good kind of S meal to have though. It's a type of cleanse in a way. You're just using the purest oils and fats. They're going to be better for you in the fact that they'll, a lot of them you'll digest them quicker. And it just gets back to the basics. You're also to have a lot of leafy green vegetables with your deep S meal. And then a lot of vegetables, they have just a little bit of carb. We even categorize them as the non-starchies. But when we do a deep S meal, we cut it back to just practically no or very, very low carb. Now that's just for those type of meals, and that's just for a particular purpose that you're being intentional to have kind of meal. This kind of meal is done a lot of times for people after they've had a crossover or even after they've gone off plan. If they have a deep S meal, it's kind of cleansing and helps you get back on track, helps to work those carbs, that glucose stores from them out of your cells and get you back where you were before you had that, so you can move forward with your Trim Healthy Mama journey. So look into the deep S meal and what all that entails. Look into the light S meals and see if you can get on board with some of those. And that'll be another great way to be intentional with your Trim Healthy Mama journey. So all these things together, you can choose one or two or however many you want to do. You might want to try one for a week. You might want to try two of them for a week. It doesn't matter. You got to remember, there is no magic formula. We're all different, and everyone has to try what works for them. Just don't get weary of trying. We just are going to have to make that part of our journey. Try some things. Don't we wish we just knew the right one to do and just do that? But it's not that simple. And just embrace it. I have always enjoyed my food. It's tasty. I like eating this way. So I try to just look at it like that. Like, well, okay, so maybe I didn't lose weight this week, but I did enjoy the food I ate, and I know it was healthy. I know it was good for me. So I know good things are happening, even if I'm not seeing it on the scale, or if I'm not seeing it in, my clothes fitting looser at this time. You're in it for the long haul. I know I want to do this the rest of my life, and I hope you do too. So keep that in mind. Try not to get too anxious to get things going. Try to keep in mind that healthy is part of it. It is a big part of it. Healthy is the way to get to trim, not the other way around. So I have included for you a couple of printouts. One is a summary of these 5 things: eating more vegetables, eating more e-meals, having fuel pull meals and snacks, having good hydration, and considering the light and the deep S as part of your S meals. And I've also included a tracker so that you can keep track on your own of which ones or any of them that you're doing. Now, it has the month at the top you can fill in, and it's numbered for the days of the month. So you could check off the boxes of whichever ones you're doing. And I feel like this is really helpful because if we can see what we're doing, we'll be a lot more likely to keep going with it. And that way you can kind of mark your progress, like, well, I'm trying this and I'm doing it every day this week or every day this month, and I'm adding a new one each week, and however you want to go about it. So I hope you'll find those helpful and can use them to help you be more intentional with your weight loss. I hope that those will be ways that will encourage you. They've encouraged a lot of ladies that I've worked with, and it'll be just whichever one you try that you want to stick with, whatever one sounds good to you. Don't feel like you have to do them all. So go ahead and be looking at those printouts, find what you want to do, and I just hope that that will be the thing that will make a difference for you, and that you'll be able to move your Trim Healthy Mama journey forward in the way that you're really desiring.